Hello guys, Zach here again with another random map game, and today I've got a game that I found on AOC Zone between Geoffrey and Arch Koven. I'm pretty sure this isn't the real Koven from back in the day, though there's no guarantees on that. But anyway, this is between these two guys, Geoffrey, the Chinese player, and apparently this Koven guy is Korean. As I say, I'm not 100% sure if this is the real one, and the map is MegaRandom. Geoffrey playing over to the left of the map in green as Mayans, and over to the right in red is Mr. Koven over here playing as Huns. So it's a Mayan versus Huns matchup, and very popular civilization choices there. You may have noticed as well that due to the fact this is mega random, they actually started with a lot more villagers, which is kind of weird. Geoffrey indeed started with 7, as he is Mayans. He did get 1 extra than Koven starting on just the 1, but it does seem like he got off to a better start, as of course Koven is Huns. He doesn't need to build houses, which means that he didn't have an idle town centre from the very start. Nicely done there by Geoffrey, gonna kill that horse from Koven there, and there Scout is actually a horse in this game, so it can't actually go and attack or harass any villagers or anything like that. It purely is just a scout, and I'm going to leave Fog of War on for a few moments whilst things get underway. It's also important to note they've got 2 horses, so they have double scouts, which does indeed mean that they're scouting capabilities are doubled. Makes sense, I guess. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this game has to hold and what it has in store for us. Let's just have another look at the map real quick. Well, it's kind of interesting. They've both got a ring of water around them, so I guess easy to wall if they really want to, with just 2 shallows connecting their little island to the mainland. And then once again on the opposite side as well. There's some big fish in these waters here, which does mean that fishing would be a viable option if you wanted to do that, and indeed Koven has got a dock of his own, as has Geoffrey, and very nicely done there. Going to be able to fish some of these big fish here and gain a little economic boost, which would be very nice on this little lake at the back for Geoffrey. Of course, the water isn't joined, so we won't see any grushing or anything like that, although it could be a possibility that a forward dock comes on, but I really doubt that would be the case. The rest of the map, though, has just bits of wood, very open areas, and a couple of very small patches of gold and stone as well. Looking at their mainland, well, they only have a little bit of gold and no stone, so this is a very low resource map. Looks to me, oh no, they do have stone as well, my bad. Looks to me like they do get a boar. I'm not sure if they got 2 though. In fact, I believe they only get 1 boar, so it does mean that deer hunting is a necessity, and of course the necessity is going to be to get a lot of food early on, as there is not much boar at all, which is where the fish come into play. If you didn't take fish on this map, you'd be very delayed into the feudal age, and that would not be good at all. Geoffrey's starting to wall Koven in. Pretty nice idea there, because Koven does have 2 areas where he can get through. But if he blocks off one, then at least he knows he's not going to get through at one certain area. Is he going to go and wall the second bit? Looks like he might just do that. Yes, he is. He's going to go to Koven's side and wall it off. So Geoffrey trying to take the map control early on, and he may be successful in doing so, giving Koven a little bit of a wall to deal with. And as you can see, these guys are pretty far from the feudal age still, and, oh, actually saying, I take that back, Koven is advancing up, but Geoffrey on the other hand, 30 population, still not advancing yet. Koven on 32 right now with his docks still working. And he's going to have to be careful, because there's not actually many more big fish in this area. He's going to have to probably rebuild a dock around here or something, perhaps. Otherwise his fishing ships are going to have to travel a very long way. But Koven advancing up to the feudal age before Geoffrey, and Geoffrey is going to advance up in just a moment, I imagine. He is obviously not going to want to stop producing villagers, but he's going to go for probably a fast castle, judging by the feudal age population that he's got right there. It could be possible that Koven does a fast castle as well, but if we look at this, Geoffrey going with a double wall right there, he is serious about not letting Koven attack him early on, and that's going to work in his favour, because Koven did of course advance earlier on as well, and he's oh, very nicely done there, sending some villagers over. Koven going to do a villager drop, and Geoffrey, well, he's got that house there, so he may see these villagers going past, but I imagine that Koven is going to try and forward here. Geoffrey may be able to deal with this. He's sending 4 villagers over to do a quick wall, and of course he will be able to fight these villagers if he wants to, as he is outnumbering them, and he's getting the first hits in there as well. A blacksmith going down for him, and I imagine a market to follow, so he can indeed go for the fast castle and perhaps make plumed archers. He's already gathering a bit of stone, which could lead to that situation perhaps, and Geoffrey, yeah, just continuing to wall. And I suppose when you're playing mines, because plumed archers are such a good unit, it does make a lot of sense usually to go for them. He does just need his market and a little bit more food right now, so that he can of course advance to the castle age. He's made a little mistake here. He's put a galley on this. Oops. He's put a galley on this water, finding then it's actually a lake, so that's not much use to him at all. But I think he's pretty safe for the time being. What's going on over here? Well, Koven has a couple of galleys, but they're not really going to do much, and Geoffrey building his market over here, because why not, and advancing up to the castle age. Koven perhaps overcommitting to the feudal age a little bit. Koven, I believe... Oh no, my bad. I was going to say Koven going to be a little bit behind getting to the castle age. Well, no, that's not the case. He is actually advancing at pretty much the same time. But Koven, got to bear in mind, has invested a little bit more in buildings, so he has got less resource overall. Geoffrey going up with a stone wall now. Not sure if that's the best choice to make, but actually no, it is, because of course he has got enough stone now that he will be able to get the castle once he upgrades to the castle age, and that is indeed his plan. I'm just going to keep things speeding on through whilst he does get up to the castle age. And Koven is not getting through here in a hurry, it doesn't seem, and for the time being it does look like Geoffrey's just going to keep himself walled in and get up to the castle age, do the castle drop, and see where it goes from there. At this moment in time, Koven does have the highest score, even without being... Sorry, even though he just got to the castle age. He's got a lot more population. Look at that, 55 to 44, which does probably indicate his highest score right now. And trying to drop some villagers again. He's going to find that... Geoffrey is, of course, fully walled, unless he comes around this side, in which case he's still fully walled. So, Geoffrey, not a pushover at all. The castle going down right there, and I thought perhaps maybe he would forward the castle. But then again, perhaps that wouldn't be so useful, as he probably would need to get onto Koven's side to do so, to make it worthwhile. And yeah, Koven going up with another town centre right here, and looks like he's going to go a bit all economy on us, and maybe that's going to be the case. But Geoffrey getting his castle out, he's probably going to be aiming for plumed archers. Problem is, he's not going to have much gold. He's only got 1,000 gold to gather, or sorry, 1,100 gold to gather from here. And of course, he's going to want a couple of town centres as well when he can get them. Keep things speeding on up. Really, Koven's got the water, safe to say. I mean, he's got a few fire ships there as well, bringing them in. In fact, I'd go as far as to say Geoffrey could win this little fight here, though it's not 100% likely. I've just seen this castle has gone up, plumed archers starting to come out, and that is very nice indeed. I'm going to try and take out this transport ship before anything lands, and very nicely done there. Very good timing on taking that transport ship out. That means that Koven has, of course, lost his villagers in there, and Geoffrey is making some fire ships just to retake this water. I wasn't expecting this forward dock, and it did indeed come out. With this castle here, though, well, Koven isn't going to be able to do much with that at all, because these guys are going to get extremely weakened before they even reach Geoffrey's ships. Nicely done by Geoffrey there, and he is of course going to take the score lead now, as his units lost is a lot less than Koven in this situation. His castle coming forwards as well, as you can see, just starting to pick off these fire ships before they even get in range to do any damage. So Koven is going to struggle to take water here, and I don't think he should really continue with that. Geoffrey's starting to send out his plumed archers. Doesn't look like he's going for 2 town centres just yet. In fact, his eco is looking pretty messy. A lot of idle villagers right here, and he looks like he's going for some 1 town centre power play, which is quite, well, not uncommon, I would say, in Mayan play, because Mayans, of course, they can do that 1 castle really early push, plus plumed archers are so cheap. Geoffrey gonna go up against some cavalry archers from Koven. Koven, of course, being Huns, can pump them out extremely cheaply. I'm just waiting for him to come along here, break through this wall, and do some damage to Koven's eco, because Koven's eco will be a lot better right now. Geoffrey, with a dock on this water, going to be able to make some more fire ships to take out the galleys here, which is very nice from him. Of course, that will enable him to break through this wall and send his plumed archers on in. They're going to be attacked by the cavalry archer, but this many plumed archers, well, that cavalry archer's down. And yeah, they have pretty much neck and neck upgrades, bodkin arrow for both, and we see how much short work the plumed archers make of the cavalry archers there. Koven are not looking so great right now, actually, I've got to say. This one base, one town centre kind of power, looking very good for Geoffrey, very oversaturated this gold. Has he found the gold down here? Well, yes he has. He's even put a town centre on it, and that is going to really help him out. Another town centre going up at the back, so he's going to start making some eco at last. But he's got quite a lot of plumed archers already. Going to want to avoid these fire ships, and these guys have very high pierce armor, so it's going to be a while before any villagers can actually take them down. And Koven with a stone wall, so looks like Geoffrey's going to have a hard time getting through there. And if he is a target of the fire ships, his plumed archers will die very quickly as well, which of course he doesn't want to happen. Any more upgrades for him? Well, at the moment it's just a 2 attack, no defense, which is absolutely fine for now, as Koven really doesn't have much force on land either, and he is just continuing to try and boom his eco. I imagine this going to some kind of trash war though, as there really isn't much gold or stone really on either of these guys' sides of the map, and saying that, Geoffrey does have the gold down here. It's also important to note there is no relics, so there is no saving grace with the gold. Once it's gone, it's gone. There's no way to regenerate any gold here, and that's a dead skirmisher. Just waiting for Geoffrey to do something. A siege workshop here could be very nice. Go forward with a couple of rams, break through this stone wall with the plumed archers behind. Could make very easy work of Koven in this situation, and we'll have to wait and see what his strategy is to do. It looks like Geoffrey will be able to kill off these villagers, very nicely done for him, and Koven with a few fire ships on here could be a little bit awkward for Geoffrey to deal with. He really does need to make a siege workshop with this villager, and I imagine we will see something like that. Geoffrey just running out of gold on his main island now, and it looks like Koven was also run out of gold on his main island, so gold really going to be an issue for these guys. Koven with pretty much no gold whatsoever, Geoffrey with a K, and this could really help him out in the long run in this game. With the amount of gold he's going to be able to get, well, he could really gain an advantage with that. And Koven, I gotta say, not looking so good right now. Geoffrey, please build a siege workshop. I would like to see that, so you can actually push Koven back. I'm waiting for Koven to make some kind of trash or something along those lines. Perhaps he's gonna go Imperial, but I mean, with what gold? With what gold? He has 19 gold, so this could just be a very long trash war. We'll have to wait and see. We may see some use of the market as well, but look how much food and wood he is starting to gather. That is a lot of food right there, and Koven, what could he do? Well, he could sell that food at the market, or he could just continue to make trash, which he doesn't even seem to be doing yet. So again, speeding things up whilst things start to get interesting. I'm hoping they do get interesting, otherwise that would be a bit of a disappointment, wouldn't it? Koven, very nicely done there with some villagers going over to this side. Going to be met with plumed archers and having to get back inside of there. Stable for him. Looks like Koven's going to go for hussars. Very nice choice, or at least light cavalry at this moment. Hussars, well, they're going to be decent against plumed archers. Plumed archers with no pierce armor. Of course, they are pretty cheap to make, the plumed archers, and saying that, the hussars are fairly cheap to make as well. So, I don't know, Koven could be doing the right thing with that. But he really needs to take some map. I mean, Geoffrey taking this whole mainland here. I don't think he knows about this gold in the corner just yet. No, he just missed it. Look at that. Very closely done indeed. Oh, it's just over here. But he really needs to scout the corners a bit more. He very nearly missed that gold. And if he had found it, well, he could have even more gold than he already does. But I imagine Geoffrey will go Imperial pretty soon. I don't see why not. He has no reason not to, really. He's got enough gold, he's almost got enough food, and once he does do that, well, He may be able to take a very big advantage with a couple of trebuchets and the plumed archers up behind. We'll just have to wait and see, really. And let's see if Koven is going for Imperial. It looks like he is. He's actually selling wood and food at the market. That's very nicely done by him. He is going to go up to the Imperial Age right now. Geoffrey also going Imperial. And Koven, with Bloodlines being researched, I'm pretty sure this is a dead giveaway. The amount of farms he's got, he's going to go for Hussars, mass Hussars, and maybe throw in some skirmishes in there as well. Castle on the shoreline, not sure why he's decided to put it there, but he has. Perhaps coming forwards with the castle would have been a better choice. But the Hussars should be able to make pretty short work of the plumed archers. But bear in mind, Mayans can make, of course, they can make halberdier. We're just waiting to see if he does do that. And they're going to be able to make a few onagers as well if he's got the gold for it, which isn't looking likely at the moment. He's got a little bit to spend on upgrades, which is always useful, and if he scouts a bit more, he may find this gold in the corner. But right now, not looking very promising that that's going to be the case. And just going to have to wait it out. And Mangonel coming, he's going to go and try and take out those fire ships with that perhaps. And Imperial Age for both of them nearly. Yes, there we go. Koven Imperial, Geoffrey Imperial. And now we see the light cavalry coming forwards. Very nice raid on Geoffrey here. He's going to be able to kill off a few villagers. More stables coming forwards as I speak. And Hussar must be being upgraded at his base back here, or not. He's probably just waiting for a bit more gold. He needs to use his market a bit more. And have these guys got any upgrades? Well, they are on +2 defense, which is always useful when you're going up against town centres and the like. Geoffrey throwing up a load of barracks. He's going to go for, well, it looks to me like he's going to go for his halberdier. That's a good option to make, the hard counter. And if he doesn't make halberdier, well, I don't know why. Or maybe gold is the issue here. But yeah, Koven probably going to lose a lot of light cavalry and hussars if he continues to make these guys. Archery range is coming up. He's going to start making elite skirmishes to deal with the pikemen. And if he micros this very well, fortunately it's going to be a trash war. But if you just, if you just micro it very well, he could gain the upper hand. The only problem for Koven is going to be these plumed archers. Have to wait and see what happens there. Plumed archers without ballistics, not doing much to these light cavalry at all. With 4 pierce armor, they are pretty resilient to the plumed archers. And yeah, Geoffrey with the halberdier upgrade right there. Lots of light cavalry for Koven, but how much harassment is he going to do? Geoffrey's economy really isn't focused in this area. It's over at his base. We're going to have to wait for some siege to come in, and Koven just going to try and do some more harassment, going to run into some more halberdier. He wants to get out of there pretty quickly. You don't want to get absolutely shredded by 5 halberdier to 20 hussars or something like that, which would never be a good thing. And Koven now coming out with some skirmishers. Is he upgrading them to elite? Well, I think he will be. I don't see why not. They obviously, there we go, elite skirmishers just being upgraded, and he'll be able to do a little bit of damage with them, but not much with this Mangonel. What the hell is a Mangonel? A Mangonel coming in as well. Koven going to be struggling to do much with these hussars right now, and I've got to say, Geoffrey's starting to take a bit of a score lead as well. This could very well be Geoffrey's game. I think, well, that was a very spazzy Mangonel right there. What? What is that Mangonel doing? He is going to lose that, of course, but the halberdier will be able to make short work of that. Rams coming forwards as well, going to be able to take out these buildings, and Koven continuing to try and harass at the back. But, I mean, Geoffrey's economy really isn't focused in this area at all. A few halberdier can really quickly deal with these hussars, and Geoffrey is just going to start whittling away now at these archery ranges and at these stables. I think he will eventually just knock them down with his rams. Koven very low on food, struggling to make many hussars right now. Geoffrey with a lot of food and a lot of wood. He can make halberdier all day long, but he's choosing not to for some reason, not sure why. He's got a few, but he should continue to make them, and he doesn't really have much other military production, but he does have war galleys over here. Pretty interesting, not sure why. It's not like Koven has much on the water, but he's making them anyway because he can. And There we go, Geoffrey getting us around on Koven right there. Koven gonna lose all of those hussars, not good for him at all. Koven losing so much food right there, and Geoffrey, I think, probably losing one halberdier at most, and now Koven is going to be forced back. He's got a lot of skirmishers, but they will probably not be able to do that much damage. The only problem for Geoffrey is that he can't make horse units, so these skirmishers are more annoying to deal with, but they're not impossible to clear up. He can make skirmish of his own, of course, and just counter with the same unit, which could work, I suppose, if he's got more. And he's still got a lot of gold. Well, he's got a bit of gold. He's spent most of it on upgrades, it seems. If we have a look at how many upgrades he has got, well, he's got +3 defense, which is plenty, and that's opposed to Koven's +3 attack, +1 defense. So actually Koven pretty good there. Geoffrey's starting to take stone, but going to be cleared up by the hussars with also +3 defense. So upgrades pretty on par actually for both these guys. And Geoffrey, I don't know, I'm focusing on this area. Is there much else going on other sides of the map? Well, Koven's trying to get through this gate with hussars. That's not going to happen for a long while, so not much going to happen there. And sending villagers forwards with a town centre on this wood. Looks like he's depleted most of the resources on his mainland, and I'm not surprised either. Geoffrey with some galleons coming forwards. He's going to kill off a lot of villagers right here. Oh, hello. That's going to be a lot of dead villagers. No chemistry for him, which does mean that he's not going to make any more plumed archers for the time being. And this gate being whittled away, but going to be a while before that goes down. Geoffrey continuing to keep the pressure on the right hand side. This is pretty much just a trash war, because there's not even any relics to boost the gold. Once the gold is gone, it's gone. In come some eagle warriors, very nicely done there, and they're elite eagle warriors as well, I want to point out. Going to make short work of the skirmishers right there, and I don't think Koven can do much in this situation. This is a situation where Mayans outclass the Huns without gold, because they can make halberdier, and they can make skirmishers, which is exactly what Koven can make, and mixing in a few elite eagle warriors makes very short work of the skirmishers as well. So I say this is probably Geoffrey's game, just clearing this up. He needs a couple of rams and he will be able to take out these buildings. Koven, well, he's not going to get through this gate anytime soon. These hussars will not be enough to get through. A siege workshop going forwards, but gotta say, maybe one ram will not be enough either. I mean, Geoffrey can just quickly repair any damage that is done. And Geoffrey just going to push forwards here with his galleons as well, just constantly harassing the shoreline. Pretty nicely played, I've got to say. Geoffrey probably going to take this game, and I think Koven is probably going to try over here just once and never again, because he's going to get cleared up, and I don't think there's much he's going to be able to do. These hussars just looking for something to kill but not finding anything, unfortunately. And as you can see, the halberdier just making very short work of those, and Geoffrey clearing this up. Very nicely done. His score lead getting very far ahead also, and Koven, well, how can he come back from this? I don't think he can. He's not got much food, not much wood. Geoffrey has a ton of wood, to say the least, an absolute ton. So yeah, that was pretty much GG. I was expecting maybe something different. I don't know exactly what, but with so little gold on the map, I suppose it was very hard to do anything different than just a trash war. I can't see any other real option here, and as far as strategies go, well, scouting the map a little bit better could have resulted in 1,600 extra gold, perhaps ending the game a little bit sooner, but Geoffrey, well played, he did take that, and yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this one. I know it's not exactly on par with what we saw yesterday, but it was a decent game nevertheless. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed. I've been Zach, and I'll see you next time.